Good gaming, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nider, and today we're gonna watch some not new play cEDH. We're gonna watch the April 30th final game of the Scruffy Octopus. Which was it again? Outlaws of Thunder's Junction release. So in today's game we have Yeva player, Magda player, Atraxa, and Kenrith. I would like to thank the Scruffy Octopus for allowing us to use the footage and for the recording setup they graciously made for us. Um, I would also like to thank the CLG, the cEDH League of Gentlemen. Although this is not their footage, there is two players in there that are from the CLG, and they are making a wonderful community at the Scruffy Octopus. So where we jump to the start of the game, just need to mention that the Atraxa player is placed first. He suggested the draw, and of course we tell him, if you don't fight, you're not gonna win. Yeva will tap a land, play a Delighted Outfling. He passes to Magda, plays a land, and plays a Henslave Dwarf, which would give +1/+0 to one black creature, which could be significant at some point. Pretty much not. So like I was saying, Atraxa player is first. Last game of the tournament. He may be able to top. However, the Kenrith player could beat him also. So Atraxa plays a land. Oh, mental misstep into the Mystic Remora. So brutal for turn 1. He tried to crack for an Underground Sea. And then with nothing else, he passes the turn. Highland, Remora, how mean to counterspell a Remora to go straight into one. Goes into a Mana Crypt. And he will pass. Yeva player plays in Nature Tube, as 4 mana open. Yeva player always plays in Flash at end of turn. Magda taps for 2, drops a Fomo Revolt. Taps for 2 for Magda. He'll go to combat into Atraxa. Actually, it goes into the Kenrith because he counterspelled the Mystic Remora. Magda is on Adnaz. Atraxa is on Adnaz. Atraxa plays a fetch, go fetch. Kenrith pays for his fish. Lose the Mana Crypt roll. Gonna play a Deathright Shaman. As you see, Yeva player will cast Yeva at flash speed. Asking around if everything is fine, and he passes. Well, he goes to his turn. Untap. Play the fetch. I believe he go fetch, and he will pass. He fetches into a Harbor Dryad Arbor. Sends it to the Magda player. Plays a Volatile Fault. Taps for 2. Goes for the Magda 2.0, like we say on the Discord. Whenever you do a crime, you make a treasure. Swing for 2 different players to make 2 treasures. And then I pass. You'll see the Atraxa player just biding his time, playing fetches. Fetch for another Bayou, for another duel. Gonna play Chrome Mox, pitching, touch the Spirit Realm. 1, 2, 3, 4 for a Trouble in Pairs, which is a nice draw engine. Kenrith player does not play for his Remora now. Draws. Still on one land, which is troublesome for him. Get his second duel. At this point, I'm thinking about being mean and blowing up one of his lands. Goes for Calling Ritual, which is a bad board wipe for me. I did some shenanigans trying to get rid of some stuff, making sure we don't give him more than what he needs. Then again, he makes 7. Cast a One Ring. And the payback for the Mystic Remora counterspell at the beginning of the game, Force of Will the One Ring. Tap for 1. Get a Ragavan on board. Ragavan is never a bad play, especially just after a right board wipe. Move to Yeva player. He did nothing at flash speed. Plays a land. He has to do... Yeah, he's casting the Invasion of Ikoria for 3, if I remember correctly. Allows him to go get something. He go gets, if I remember, the Circle of Dreams Druid, which is a Gaia's Cradle on a stick. At this point, I'm pointing at Yeva is going to be dangerous soon. We're already on turn 4. I know that he can actually explode at this point, but I was seen as a threat. So Yeva attacked the battle. I'm playing Roaming Throne, naming dwarves, of course. And then I pass to the Atraxa player. See me pointing, that's dangerous. Dangerous, danger, danger. Another fetch for our Atraxa friend. 2 plus the fetch, the land he fetches for a Ristic Study. And then we see that he is in... Doesn't seem like it, but he's actually on his way to get the Atraxa super soon, which is actually dangerous. Ragavan hitting the Atraxa player, flips the Delighted Elfling, which is a super good mana dork in any deck, so there's no reason for him to not cast it. Pays for Ristic. Then he passes to the Yeva player. Turn 5. Yeva untaps, pass the turn to me. I pay 4 for Magda. He asked for Ristic. I'm tapped out, so I'm not going to pay for Ristic. I'll swing with the Roaming Throne. And of course I'm going after Atraxa. It's a Handa's player. So close to being able to close the game. Up to 5 mana now. Taps 2. For a Wishclaw Talisman. I believe he does nothing and pass the turn. He's down to... Is he down to 1 card in hand? God, we absolutely missed that part. Gemstone Cavern for the Kenrith player. Goes with Regavan once again into Atraxa because she's open. Lose 2. Gonna flip a Mana Crypt. Damn. That is bad for the Atraxa player. Wonderful for the Kenrith player. Cast the Crypt. He paid for 1 for the Ristic. So this is when things went bad. we kept casting spell over and over again. And you'll see it with the Kenrith player. That's for 3, 4, 5. Takes a treasure to pay for Ristic. Cast Kenrith. Kenrith triggers the Trouble in Pairs, draws a card. He pays for the Ristic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Will you use a treasure? Okay. He may have overpaid. Then I'm pointing out, look guys, Atraxa player up to 2 cards. So Woodcaller Automaton on end of turn. So this is where shenanigans starts happening. So Woodcaller comes into play, makes a creature into a land. Now he's up to, well, actually is tapping 1 for Ristic. Makes a land become a creature. Adapt, become a creature. 5 creatures now. Gaia's Cradle is gonna be causing issues now. Taps for 5. 3 cards in Yeva's hand. Goes for an Infectious Bite. Gonna have Yeva fight with Magda. Of course, 4 versus a 2-1. I'm thinking about, can I boost Magda to kill this Yeva? Just a tiny bit too short. Troubles in pair triggers. He paid for the Ristic, but not for the Trouble in Pairs. Scrib Ranger, which allows him to return a forest and then to untap a creature. Returns a forest, tries to untap the Circle of Dream Druids. Goes for it and untap. I believe right now the problem is card draw for the Yeva player, because he has 2 cards in hand, and one of them is a forest. So it goes ahead. Plays a Court of Calling for 5, 6. I think it's for 3. Court of Calling for 3. Gets a Ewit. Ewit the Court of Calling. Untaps everything. Goes to his turn. Turn 6. And then he had the best draw ever. Plays his land. Tap circle for 7. Use 5 for a Shaya. Pays 1 for Ristic. Now, usually at this point, it's GG for the Yeva player. And I'm like, oh god, we're fucked. But you see me talking with the Atraxa player. He keeps saying, if you play stuff, I can find an answer. And I'm like, sure, we need to find an answer. Not even thinking that Atraxa is gonna win or something. So Mug Salvage into the Woodcaller Automaton to give him 1 less mana, make him draw. Then he goes, still no answer. And then I'm like, damn, gonna use my 2 treasure for a Great Train Iced spree with for 2 red, targeting Atraxa player. Still doesn't give Atraxa the answer. Tap Woodcaller. Tap Circle of Green Druids. Cast Scribe Ranger. Now, Atraxa player casts Enlightened Tutor. What he's looking for is Touch the Spirit Realm. And then he does, God, I exiled it. Then he goes for Dream Halls, which is not super good. But in the meantime, he drew a Mindbreak Trap so he can actually counterspell the Scribe Ranger. But he actually wanted that Touch the Spirit Realm, but he forgot. He exiled it to his Chromux. So, important piece. Maybe not exile one of your best removal in the game. Hewitt goes into the battle. He flips and tries to cast Zilorta, which is a if a creature will deal damage, treat it as it wasn't blocked. It's really good for combat damage. Passes the turn to Magda. Plays a Great Furnace. Taps for 2. A Smuggler's Capture, which is a somewhat draw engine. I decide not to pay for Ristic. At this point, I should have actually paid. Tap for 3. I'm gonna cast a Plundering Barbarian. Plundering Barb allows you to create a treasure or destroy target artifact. It triggers twice because I've got Roaming Throne, so I make 2 treasures. I had no play in hand, didn't know what to do. So Exotic Archer for Atraxa. We know he has Dream Halls. Tap 1 for Soul Ring. Tap the Soul Ring and activate the Wish Claw. On the Wish Claw the Yeva player will do shenanigans. He does Court of Calling for 1. He goes get Quirion Ranger. Now he has a Shaya, he has Quirion Ranger. Usually at this point, he has everything he needs to win the game. The issue at this point is that he has not played that deck in a super long time. So, if you have a pet deck, and especially a super combo intensive deck like Yeva or Tayam. Tayam is another one of these decks that are super combo intensive that you need to remember. You cannot spend months without playing it. You need to keep your guns and remember to play that deck. Magda is somewhat a combo deck. The thing is she's super pivot heavy, so she can actually just adapt to pretty much any situation on the board, and there's no major issue. Kenrith, I have no idea, and Atraxa is also like a blue farm. She can do a bunch of stuff. So Otawara, the Circle of Dreams Druid, just so that he cannot do multiple shenanigans he's unable to cast multiple times. You cannot use Circle of Dreams Druid to make infinite mana with the Quirion Ranger, because at that point it would be infinite mana. So return the forest to tap Ewit for Court of Calling. Court of Calling into If I remember correctly, it's going to be Court of Calling for 2. He's going to go get Lotus Cobra. Lotus Cobras get cast, it ATBs. Once it resolved, there is a landfall trigger happening because all the triggers happens after spells resolves. And he just makes a green. Atraxa player plays on Mox Diamond. 1, 2. Yep, that's it. Finally got his last card. Got his 3 mana for Torkoal, and pretty sure it's gonna happen. And there I go for the I5. Congratulations, Atraxa player. You're well placed on the board of the tournament winners. This was a wonderful game. Yeva sadly missed the win. But you know what, guys? It happens. So, thank you very much. Subscribes. If you learned anything, post it in the comments. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next game. Bye-bye.